Ooh, it is episode 14 of our Road to Legend, and today we will find out what we're gonna get as our reward after winning 500 battles in the Go Battle League in Season 12, as we actually have a time research that we needed to complete. So today we're gonna see what kind of rewards we get, and yeah, 500 wins is a very long and crazy thing to do, man. Alright, so hi to all of you guys. So let's go ahead and bring my screen up, and you guys can see in the last season I was at last episode, guys, not season. I was at 2,285 elo and I was at 497 wins. I was at just 3 wins away from getting to 500. After completing 500 wins in total, you can get the final reward from the time research. So yeah, in this episode, actually I changed my team up a bit, and in fact I did say that I was using Garchomp, correct? Eventually that Garchomp fast move, I decided to change it up also. So let's begin the very first battle against Arotukian, and still using the same Garchomp with Mud Shot first, and eventually I decided to switch it to Dragon Tail because that's the only other fast move that Garchomp has. But you guys can see that my opponent, actually, I want to talk more about this particular battle that I just did. And this battle, if you guys notice that the Dialga, with a CP of 4609, it's actually a level 51 Dialga. However, it has 14 attack. So 14, 15, 15 attack. Doesn't allow it to get the Garchomp's health to even half, as in yellow health, before I even fire off a Earth Power, sorry. So with that in mind, you know, actually it's good for us, but also I was thinking to myself, like, wait, can we still win this? Alright, so Mewtwo is going to come in to take out the Garchomp, and then eventually he brought back his Dialga, and we're going to go with double side strikes. Remember in the last episode I mentioned that going for Shadow Ball wasn't going to work, but he went for Draco Meteor first, bringing in my Groudon, then he brought in Mewtwo. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead to see that we cannot get to our charge move in time before a side strike comes through, but it's totally fine. Groudon can take one hit first before we go ahead with our Earthquake, and we're gonna see that it's gonna get shielded up. So now the question is, how are we gonna win this, man? Can we even win this? We will see how things goes. Alright, so we're gonna shield up against the side strike, I believe so, and then we're gonna go with Earthquake. Earthquake will definitely do a lot of damage to the Mewtwo. Alright. So eventually you guys can see my Garchomp is left with a little bit of health, but the Earthquake is enough to take out the Mewtwo, bringing in back Garchomp. Knowing that he has 14 attack, I was able to do this. Alright, being able to get to my charge move with only a sliver of health left on my Garchomp. In fact, it's probably left with like 1 HP. Alright, to take out the Dialga, and that's the difference between 1 IV. Alright, having a 14 attack or 15 attack on your Dialga at level 51 makes a difference. Alright, so even if you have a level 50 Hundo Dialga, definitely in that situation, I would have won also. Alright, so against Mewtwo as the lead again, like I said, a lot of people are using Mewtwo. Likewise for myself, I'm also using Mewtwo. Mewtwo is really, really strong, it's just that I don't use it as the lead most of the time. Alright, so we're going to go with Earth Power as usual, and our opponent's going to shield that. We're going to bring back Mewtwo, and I was hoping to catch a Side Strike, hoping it's Side Strike, praying that it's Side Strike, because if it's not Side Strike, we will have died. Alright, so he brought in an Evolter, which is very, very bad for us. Alright, the only move that I can throw at it is actually Shadow Ball. Psychic will be double resisted, so hence it's not optimal, as in Side Strike or Psychic, or basically any Psychic type moves. Alright, I'm gonna let this go through since I know my Mewtwo is kind of dead already, thanks to the Evolter being there. So we're gonna go with Outrage, since Outrage will do neutral damage to the Evolter, whereas ground type moves will do double resisted, so that's not gonna work at all. So we're gonna be left with a little bit of health. I was thinking if I should actually farm down the Evolter since it's left with a little bit of health, but I'm also gonna get farmed down if I do not try and take it out ASAP. So we did try and farm it down, but it's left with just 1 HP away from getting the much. I have to invest another shield against the Evolto, and then eventually brought in a Dialga, which we are going to go ahead with our Earth Power. Let's see if it's going to shoot this. High chance he is going to shoot this, and he decided to shoot that. We're going to bring in Groudon. He didn't know I have a Groudon at the back, right? But the question is, what's his other Pokemon? I forgot. Alright, I kind of forgot now, but probably I remembered still knowing it during the battle. We're going to take out the Dialga. Yeah, it's the Mewtwo, alright. So the question is, can we get to an Earthquake or not? No, we cannot. Can our Groudon survive this? Our Groudon needs to survive this. It's a Shadow Ball. I was wondering why didn't he go with Side Strike though. I mean, it will kind of do the same amount of neutral damage, so it wouldn't still take out my Groudon, since it's still left with green health. If it's a yellow health Groudon, then I would say my Groudon would have been taken out by a Side Strike. So we're gonna go into the next battle against Maserati. Yeah, man, Maserati, very nice brand for a car, though I can't afford it. Alright, so against a shiny Mewtwo. Alright, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna try and catch the Side Strike on my Mewtwo. Alright, so first Side Strike goes through. You guys can see it's like relatively the same thing, just whenever I'm fighting against a Mewtwo, it's just the same thing over and over again, going with Earth Power. But later on, when I actually use Dragon Tail on the Garchomp, I realized that it's actually better to fight against Mewtwo, as the Dragon Tail is able to take out the Mewtwo much easier than having one with Mud Shot. Alright, so we're gonna go with our Mewtwo. I do not have to even catch the Side Strike anymore once I change my fast move to Dragon Tail, which I'll show you guys later on. So this Dialga, it has a CP of 4609, but I don't think it has 14 attack if I'm not mistaken. Alright, it is dealing like more damage. I do not know whether is it this one or the other one. It might be the other battle that I did that has 15 attack. I can actually see from the damage that is dealing to my Garchomp to know the IVs. Alright, so we're gonna have to shoot that up, otherwise it's gonna take us out as a Draco Meteor. Alright, and he brought in a Zacian. So Zacian wise, kind of okay for us, I believe. So we're gonna go with Fire Punch to bait the shield, since he has 2 shields left, and high chance it's gonna shield up. And we're gonna go with the Earthquake straight away. Let's see if she's gonna burn the second shield or not, or let the Earthquake go through, and it goes through. We're gonna bring in Garchomp to soak up the damage. Not even gonna shield this at all, because Groudon is definitely more essential in this situation, as the Dialga will definitely be able to take out the Garchomp much quicker. I'm gonna shoot up against the Play Rough. I believe it should be Play Rough. I mean, if it's close combat, it's totally fine. It's also great. We're gonna go with Fire Punch, but she was able to get to another close combat before I got to the Fire Punch. Yep, I was just greedy to get more energy, guys. We're gonna go with Fire Punch since the Dialga is left with a little bit of health. We are then gonna go for a second Fire Punch immediately if she's gonna shoot up, but she's gonna not shoot it. She's gonna shoot this, right? So okay, we have a Fire Punch coming soon again. Yep, it's really, really close, but the Mud Shot is just enough to take out the Zacian. So that was super duper ultra close. Alright, so going to the next battle. And next battle is against Hama Boy 44. Right, so you guys saw my elo actually going down a bit as compared to at the start just now, as I lost quite a number of battles, and now you guys can see I switched my fast move of the Garchomp to Dragon Tail. So having Dragon Tail, I do not need Outrage in a sense. So going with Centum, you guys can see that it's going to debuff the Mewtwo first of all. That allows me to deal more damage, but the problem is I think I need to use 2 shields. No, actually I did not need to use 2 shields. Yeah, so just 1 shield is enough to take out the Mewtwo. Just Dragon Tail down the Mewtwo. Alright, but the thing is, the difference is that my opponent doesn't need to use a shield. I mean, of course, he's going to lose the switch advantage. So I was thinking which is better for me. Would I actually like my opponent to have only 1 shield left, or me having switch advantage? In certain situations, I prefer, you know, either. Alright, but he's gonna bring in Zacian after I switch into Groudon. I'm gonna go with Fire Punch. Let's see if we're gonna bait the shield. Same situation as the previous battle. Unfortunately, my opponent read me well. Did not want to shield that up, but it's okay. We're gonna bring in Mewtwo, and Mewtwo is gonna go ahead to just Side Strike all the way, but Play Rough is going to come through first. I probably need to shield up against one of the Play Rough. At this point of time, I was just, I guess, multitasking, looking at my phone while doing this, so I wasn't really counting the fast move properly. Yeah, so hence why I kind of lost a lot, because I was pretty complacent. Yeah, close combat came through. We're going to go with Fire Punch. This should be kind of enough to take out the Zacian already, since it is at a very low range. It's not going to be enough yet, but it's going to be quite close, since it has already used close combat, because it's going to farm down the Zacian. We don't need to shield this, man. We don't have to shield this at all. We can actually save the shield against the Dialga. Alright, this will be back, and it's a level 51 Dialga. We're going to get the Earthquake. We're going to shield up against the Iron Head. And that's pretty much it, Earthquake. And then after that, just Mud Shot down the Zacian, and we are GG, good game. In fact, it's Draco Meteor, by the way. So yeah, this team has been working pretty okay for me, but eventually I lost a lot of battles, and I decided to, okay, finally, I think I'm just going to switch in the big guns which I'll show you guys later on. I think it's like maybe another 2 or 3 more battles later that I'll show you guys the big guns that I actually brought in. Alright, so against someone who's using Excadrill with my Dragon Tail Garchomp. Alright, I actually prefer using a Mud Shot in this situation, as the Earth Power will pressure the shield more than using Sand Tomb, but this opponent decided to shield up against that. That's great. Bringing in Kyogre, I'm gonna do one Sand Tomb before I switch into Mewtwo, although I thought to myself like, okay, was that necessary? Alright, in the end I just, okay, let's just continue with the Dragon Tail. Dragon Tail is doing a lot of damage, and the Kyogre is left with a quarter health. So one Side Strike will definitely take it out. I was thinking if I should actually shield up against the Surf. Eventually I just let it go through first, knowing that he has an Excadrill. The Excadrill's damage is just insane, but I have to shield up against the second one, otherwise my Mewtwo ain't gonna survive at all. I'm gonna lose switch advantage, though it doesn't really matter if I lose switch advantage, because knowing that he has an Excadrill, it doesn't really matter. I decided to change my strategy up a bit by farming down the Kyogre. Alright, knowing that he has gotten debuffed by one stage, I think it was okay to try and do that. So going with the first Side Strike against the Giratina, and then we're going to be able to get to another charge move, a Shadow Ball. This will do a lot of damage, and we're going to switch into our Groudon immediately, because our Mewtwo fainted, obviously. So we're going to go with the Earthquake, alright, to knock out the Giratina. It's not going to be enough if we were to use the Fire Punch, but the question is how we're going to take out the Excadrill, man. So I was farming more energy to make sure that I have another Earthquake almost ready already, because Fire Punch wouldn't be enough to take out the Excadrill, and I need to get to the Earthquake. I think that was 4 Mud Shots, just 1 Mud Shot away before I actually lose this battle, and the Earthquake went through, scored us a win. That was really close, man, I must say. Alright, so going to the next battle right now against Fish 520 Dragon. Alright, so still using the Dragon Tail Garchomp. Alright, and Mewtwo with weak connection. Thank you very much all the time, man. Yeah, you guys can see sometimes I use the Wi-Fi in the accommodation to play. Sometimes I use the mobile data. Right now I'm playing with the mobile data. You guys can see on the top right it shows LTE. Reason being is because some accommodation the internet speed isn't too great, so it's not stable, as it's not really stable. So I decided to just use the mobile data. So yeah, just going with Sand Tomb all the way. We're going to go with a second Sand Tomb since he shielded up my first Sand Tomb. Alright, to do a little bit more damage, one more Dragon Tail to take down the Mewtwo. Otherwise, I need to actually shield up against the second Side Strike if I want to win switch advantage. Bringing in the Dialga, bringing in Zacian after I brought in the Groudon. And we're going to go with Earthquake straight away. So since she is left with only 1 shield, there's a high chance she's not going to shield this, which I totally got it right. I'm going to let this go through, don't have to shield up against this. I'm going to survive anything thrown by Zacian. We're going to bring in Mewtwo right now, since Mewtwo doesn't fare too well against Dialga. And it's going to be better to use it against the Zacian and save the health for my Groudon. But we're going to charge up a bit more energy to fire off probably double Side Strikes before we get taken out by the Dialga. Alright, so double Side Strikes. Hopefully we can get to a second one in time. Alright, we're going to go with the first Side Strike. Actually, we went for Shadow Ball instead. Alright, I was thinking, can I actually get to double Side Strikes? I don't think so, but Shadow Ball actually hits hard also. And Groudon is back in. We're going to go with our Fire Punch. Just Fire Punch all the way, man. Since he's left with 1 shield and a little bit of health, it's just in Fire Punch range where you can just shield up against the Iron Head and just go with the next Fire Punch. And that will definitely score us a win, provided we don't lag or disconnect from the game. Alright, great. So a Fire Punch gonna go through, and that's gonna knock out the Dialga. Alright, so that's how I actually use this particular team, but like I said, eventually I scored a lot of losses. And yeah, I didn't really have too many close losses. It's basically losses that people were using like Kyogre or Palkia, etc. And I got taken out super duper quickly and easily. Alright, so against this particular opponent, you guys can see his Pokemon ain't level 50, but I would like to show you guys how amazing this played out. Alright, Giratina came in, gonna bring in my Groudon against his Dialga. And then we're gonna go with Fire Punch to try and bait a shield. And look at this, man. Alright, he is not gonna shoot this. Alright, great. And then we're gonna go with another Fire Punch since he's already in Fire Punch range to be knocked out. Can't remember if he shooted this though. Okay, he decided not to shoot that. He's gonna bring in the Giratina. Alright, he has 2 shields left. We're gonna go with Fire Punch and hopefully we can bait a shield also. Alright, so my opponent is like not even shielding up anything at all. Like, I was super puzzled, but okay, great. I mean, since he is so daring to not use any shield, let's go with the Earthquake right now. Eventually, he still let it go. I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. Alright, I'm gonna not shield this at all. And we're gonna go with Dragon Tail. So he's left with 2 shields and a Pokemon left, and that is Lugia. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is not good for us, man, because our Mewtwo is only left with 1 shield. Lugia, you know, with 2 shields is very deadly against my team, and I tried to get another Centum in, which was great. I managed to use 2 Centums against the Lugia, decreased its defense by 50% already, and he's able to switch to actually remove the debuff already. And I thought, okay, we should be in a very good position right now, right? Alright, we're gonna shoot up against the first charge move is a Sky Attack. Alright, and then the Lugia got to another Sky Attack again. Okay, that's gonna do a lot of damage to us. Alright, we're gonna try and get to the Shadow Ball. I was thinking if I want to go with Shadow Ball or Side Strike. Eventually I just went with Side Strike first, hoping my opponent will actually shield up against this. But my opponent did not want to shield up again. Like, what? I could have gone with Shadow Ball to just take out the Lugia already. So we go another Side Strike again. Thought it's gonna be enough, but it's not. And the Lugia actually got to its Sky Attack again. So I was like, oh my god, I'm like, this opponent is like so good, man. Alright, eventually he managed to get to the Fire Punch in time, and the Fire Punch was enough to knock out the Lugia. We were just 1 Dragon Tail away. That was how close it was. Look at that. You can't even see the HP of my Groudon anymore. Alright, so that was a really close battle. So it didn't matter whether you have level 50 Pokemon. Maybe it did, you know, if he had level 50 Pokemon, I would say that he would probably have won that because his Pokemon would have done more damage. And yeah, my Groudon wouldn't be left with 1 HP. He's probably gonna just KO. So hence, that maybe had made the difference, but I would say props to my opponent, man, for playing that well. Alright, so we're gonna go with Earth Power right now against Mewtwo, against a level 51 Hundo Mewtwo, 4780. Alright, defense fell, and we're gonna go with a Shield right now. Okay, and just Dragon Tail down the Mewtwo. I can't do anything already. It's not able to get to another Side Strike in time, and we're gonna go and see that he's gonna bring in a Kyogre. We're gonna go with Centum. I was thinking if I should go with Earth Power though, but I want to guarantee the debuff of the HP, although it's a good thing also since my opponent decided to shield up against my charge move. We're gonna bring in Mewtwo. Mewtwo is gonna go with Side Strikes all the way. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to get hit by 1 Surf first. Alright, so I believe this is the last battle that I show you guys with the Garchomp and also the Groudon team. Eventually I switched out to the big guns, like I said. Alright, the Double Dragon Excadrill team, which I'll show you guys in a bit after this particular battle. So alright, the Surf is almost taking us out, and he just decided to double shield his Kyogre. We're gonna go with Side Strike right away, but he brought in Melmetal. That was a very good catch by him. And then I'm gonna charge up a bit more energy. No, I actually swapped into Groudon straight away. I actually decided to charge up more energy on my Groudon so I can fire off an Earthquake on the Kyogre, which I'll show you guys in a while. So Rock Slide came through, not to worry. Even if it's superpower, it doesn't really matter. So this time round, I think my opponent decided to use superpower, and I know I can use Fire Punch to take down the Melmetal already, but I decided not to get it to excellent, just get it to nice, so I can farm a bit more energy. And even if the Melmetal is going to do whatever charge move, it doesn't matter, the Groudon wouldn't get taken out. But I need the energy to use it against the Kyogre. Alright, so the Kyogre got swapped in. We're going to go with the Earthquake straight away. This will knock out the Kyogre straight away, and we're just going to have to farm down the Melmetal, and that's GG, well played, man, by my opponent also. Alright, so going to the next battle. This is the battle that, like I said, I brought in the big guns already, if I'm not mistaken. My Elo actually dropped. Oh, okay, not yet. Probably the next one. So my opponent is using a shiny Swampert, and this Swampert obviously will be running Hydro Cannon. Not too sure if it's a Hundo though. I can't remember what's the CP of a maxed out Hundo Swampert, but it looks really high. Alright, we're gonna see that Hydro Cannon is just gonna come in super duper quickly, man. It's gonna do neutral damage to us. It's just insane. Alright, we're gonna go with the Earth Power right now. Let's see if our opponent is gonna shoot this or not. I actually missed the bubble on the left, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. We managed to farm a bit more energy also. Yeah, like I said, sometimes I'm multitasking while playing the battles because I'm looking at my phone to scroll through to read like certain things on social media and even on YouTube. Alright, so we're gonna go with Rock Slide against this Dragonite. I believe it's a Shando now. Alright, let's see if we can actually knock out the Dragonite at all. And no, the Dragonite is going to use its charge move. Might be super power, so we have to be wary of that, but it's going to be Dragon Claw bait. Alright, we're going to go with the Rock Slide now, and let's see if it's going to be enough to take out the Dragonite. No, of course, because he's going to shoot it up. Even if it's going to land, it's still not going to be enough to take out the Dragonite. We're going to double shield our Excadrill. Hopefully we can actually get to our charge move in time, but he brought in a Metagross. I'm going to charge up a little bit more energy before we bring in the Mewtwo. But then I thought to myself, wait, why did I even charge up the energy for my Excadrill? Because it's going to lose CMP tie against Dragonite. Alright, so we're going to go with Shadow Ball. At this point of time I was like, wait, did I make a mistake? I shouldn't have done this. Yeah, I needed to farm up a bit more energy so I can use it against the Dragonite. Alright, he's even just letting me let it go through. And it's a Shando Metagross also, by the way. Alright, so yeah, I actually made a huge mistake, and then eventually, like I said, the Dragonite is going to win CMP die. I was just praying to myself that it's Dragon Claw. Unfortunately, it is not. Alright, so we got knocked out by that, just one sliver of health left on the Dragonite. That was a very bad play by me, so I could have played that better. It's totally fine. So going to the next battle right now against the next opponent. Like I said, I'm going to bring in the big guns now. So my Double Dragon and Excadrill team. Here we go. Alright, against a Zacian that I believe is a level 40 Zacian, not level 50. We're going to go with Iron Head all the way, since that will do super effective damage as compared to the Draco Meteor, which will be double resisted, obviously. Okay, so we're gonna not shield this up. We're gonna let this go through because it's as if the Dialga is dead already. Can't really do much. Bringing in Melmetal. When he brought in Melmetal, I was thinking to myself, wait, isn't it better for me to bring in Giratina? Because Giratina actually fares very well against Melmetal. So Excadrill, you know, I would have to shield up against Super Power, whereas I do not need to shield up against anything if I was to use a Giratina against the Melmetal. So I made a mistake twice. Alright, I actually played 2 sets with this team, and I made a mistake twice switching in Excadrill against a Melmetal, and I eventually learned that, yeah, I think it's better to use the Giratina instead. So we're going to go with Drill Run to do good neutral damage to the Zacian. Alright, Zacian is going to come in with his charge move. We're going to let this go through. Close combat is going to knock us out. Eventually I'm going to bring in the Giratina. Alright, I'm going to shoot up against the Play Rough, thinking it is Play Rough. It should be Play Rough, and then we're going to just farm down. Alright, but he brought in a Giratina. The Giratina is, like I said, I think level 40. Bring in my Dialga to actually catch the Shadow Ball. And we're going to bring back our Giratina again. Use our Ominous Wind. Alright, we can just Ominous Wind all the way already, since he's left with one shield. But actually no, we have to use the Shadow Ball right now. Alright, so the Shadow Ball is going to knock out the Giratina. And here we go, boom! Alright, the last Pokemon, again, it's Zacian, just gonna get farmed down by Shadow Claws, and be GG, well played. But that was pretty close, man. Okay, so going to the next battle, which I believe is the last battle that I have to show to you guys already. I'm still gonna stick to this team, my Dialga, Giratina, and also Excadrill team. This opponent actually brought in Shadow Latios. I was like pretty confused, but then he brought in the Excadrill. So Excadrill, I'm gonna use, the Giratina, because my other 2 Pokemon are weak to Steel. So I'm gonna go with just Ominous Wind all the way, since most people will actually shield up against whatever that Giratina throws. Unfortunately for me, my opponent did not want to shield that up, so I'm just gonna let the Drill Run go through. Again, gonna get to another Ominous Wind in time before the next Drill Run comes through to take out the Excadrill. Alright, so remember that he has a Shadow Latios. So the Shadow Latios is gonna come back in, take out our Giratina, but we're going to bring in our Dialga, alright, to farm down the Latios. Hopefully, we're going to shield up against the Shadow Claw, the Dragon Claw lah, alright, and then we're going to see that the last Pokemon is a Metagross. So at this point, I was like, okay, we should be in a very good position, man. We should be able to win this like easily, since it is a Metagross and I have an Excadrill at the back. Alright, check this out. We're going to go with another Iron Head. Alright, I was thinking if I should actually go for Draco Meteor, but knowing that he's going to get to Meteor Mesh in time, I decided to not do that. But he decided to farm a lot of energy out of my Dialga. Alright, and then Meteor Mesh is going to come through. I'm saving the shield against the Earthquake for the from the Metagross. And I'm here with my Drill Run first, which he's going to shield. And then I was thinking, okay, he's probably going to go with Earthquake, right? And I decided to shield up against the Earthquake. And I don't think he can get to a second Earthquake, but he actually used Meteor Mash. So I was like, okay, this is not good, guys. This is not good, guys. Yeah, look at that. The Metagross is left with 1 HP, and I couldn't get to my drill, right? Because I lost CMP die. Earth Kick came through, and we lost. The Metagross is left with 1 health only, man. Anyway, so you guys have been waiting for this. This is the final reward that you get after doing 500 wins for the Go Battle League time research. Yes, the time research 5 out of 5. That's 500 battles that you need to do to complete this. And I had to refresh it. And I got an Elite Charge TM after getting 7,500 Stardust also, and that's basically the reward. But also there are other rewards like the Elite Fast TMs and other rewards that we got also. My ELO dropped down to 2,202, but not to worry. The last 2 sets that I played with my Double Dragon and Excadrill team, actually I won 4-5, so hopefully I can maintain that 3-5 or 4-5 wins, and hopefully we can progress up because yeah, I kind of miss using this team. This was a team that I used back there in Season 11 or Season 9, and it worked really well, and now probably the meta has shifted to probably these 3 Pokemon being super duper strong again. Not too sure if I should actually use Groudon instead of the Excadrill, but we'll just try out with the Excadrill first. If it doesn't work, then maybe I'll bring in the Groudon again. Alright, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely remember to leave a like on the video. We much appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode in the next video. Alright, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.